Tiffany Henyard held a public meeting together, but not at Village Hall.
But you don't even have a sense to even look in our face. But you rather just steal our money and do what you want to do.
The drama in Dolton, Illinois is getting more intense, and Mayor Tiffany Henyard is at the center of a number of scandals. This isn't her typical political fight in a tiny town, I think. That there is a lawsuit against restraining orders, seeing federal probes and even eviction warnings unfold before our own eyes is like seeing a reality TV screenplay come to life.
Henyard's decisions. At last night's village board meeting, Henyard announced a 30-day temporary appointment.
The political situation in Dolton, a small town outside of Chicago, has descended into chaos, leaving both locals and outsiders wondering what is going on. The main cause of the chaos is Mayor Tiffany Henyard, whose unwavering hold on power has led to legal battles, public outrage, and accusations of misconception that seem to be getting worse every day. At the heart of it all is a high-stakes power struggle between Henyard and the Village Board of Trustees, a feud so fierce that it has redefined the term in recent months. The board is vehemently opposing Henyard's decisions and gaining ground in court. One crucial moment came when a temporary restraining order was imposed by the county judge to prevent some of Henyard's controversial appointments, including her controversial choice of Ronald Burr as interim police chief. The severity of the board's opposition and its will to hold her responsible were demonstrated by this legal failure, which dealt a serious blow to Henyard's authority. The conflict stems from deeper worries about governance accountability and Dolton's future as locals become more frightened by the dysfunction on show. Her detractors accuse her of ignoring the correct procedures, making choices on her own, and putting her own interests first. Meanwhile, her supporters quarrel over the well-being of the village. That political rivals are unfairly targeting her in an effort to undermine her administration. Despite the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board's warnings that Burr was ineligible to serve because of missing documentation and a lack of requalification, the controversy surrounding his selection serves as an example of the larger struggle. Henyard proceeded with his appointment, but the trustees swiftly stepped in, citing both regulatory issues and what they perceived as Henyard's disrespect for established protocols. The court ruling that temporarily halted Burr's appointment as a result of this dispute raised severe concerns about Henyard's leadership style. However, Henyard has refused to back down, characterizing the opposition to her as politically motivated obstructionism. As a result, the village is in a state of uncertainty, with important decisions stalled and residents growing more irritated by the ongoing drama. Public meetings have turned into battlegrounds, with heated exchanges between community members and Henyard trustees that reveal the deep divisions within the town. Defiance, frequently manifested in caustic comments at these events, hasn't helped to heal the division. Rather, it has exacerbated Dolton's already severe economic and social problems. Difficulties as the board continues to contest Henyard's authority in court, and the mayor intensifies her divisive decisions. This power battle poses a threat to disrupt efforts to address urgent issues, including infrastructure repairs, public safety improvements, and economic stability. How did things get this bad, and is there a way out of this growing crisis? The political tempest enveloping Dolton is far from over, and the stakes for its citizens have never been higher, but the answers are still unknown.
It's a special board meeting because business has not gotten done at 2 previous meetings, so that's some progress there. But this meeting was not without its matters.
Her detractors claim that she has been appointing people without the board's approval, which is a serious violation of the Illinois Municipal Code. It appears that she is attempting to consolidate power by assigning her loyal supporters to high-level local government positions, but the board isn't having any of it. Due in part to this purported power grab, tensions in Dolton are at an all-time high, but Henyard is. She seems more determined than ever to maintain her position in spite of a growing mountain of legal issues, and the restraining order is just the first step. Additionally, there have been rumors of federal investigations, with the FBI allegedly looking into how her administration handled the stakes are extremely high because the situation has gotten so terrible that the village is money. Currently, federal officials are involved. Lawmaker Tiffany Henyard of the South suburban area appears to have left both governments. One of the most shocking accusations against Henyard is that she has been using public funds to support her extravagant lifestyle. Reports show that she has been taking advantage of lavish parties, fine dining, and upscale travel, all of which are paid for by the village's budget. Rumor has it that she spent an incredible $85,000 on a block party that featured R&B singer Key Wyatt and rapper Jay Holiday, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. She has also allegedly been charged a lot of money on the village credit card, including an incredible $433,000 Amazon shopping spree in one day. Given Dolton's financial situation, it's hardly surprising that the general fund balance dropped from $5.61 million in 2022 to a $3.65 million loss by May 2024, a substantial financial fall, according to an initial assessment. The alleged reckless expenditure is being directly attributed to Henyard by critics.
She leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now
Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her partner Kamal Woods are currently involved in a contentious and widely reported eviction dispute that has further fueled controversy in the already turbulent political environment surrounding her administration. The dispute started when their landlord, Janetta Hull, claimed that the couple had not paid rent since August, accumulating almost $55,000 in unpaid rent and late fees. Penalties for non-payment and growing Hull took the matter to court and filed an eviction lawsuit against Henyard and Woods, but the court proceedings have not been simple. According to reports, the couple has gone to considerable lengths to complicate the situation, allegedly changing the garage code and the property's locks. These actions, according to the lawsuit, have effectively prevented her from entering the property, even for Essential Repair and Maintenance Hall has expressed her frustration over what she perceives as a blatant disregard for property agreements and respect for the landlord-tenant relationship, which has led to a tense standoff that has further fueled the public's perception of Henyard as a divisive figure. In the meantime, neither Henyard nor Woods has publicly explained their actions. In addition to the speculation and scrutiny surrounding the case, this eviction SAA is taking place against the backdrop of Henyard's larger challenges as mayor, which include growing accusations of financial mismanagement, legal battles over dubious appointments, and a widening rift between her and the village trustees. As the dispute intensifies, it has come to represent the larger controversies surrounding Henyard's tenure, raising significant concerns about her leadership and judgment from both locals and detractors. In a time when Dolton sorely needs stability and accountability, the eviction dispute is viewed as more than simply a private matter. It is also another illustration of Henyard's divisive style of government and conflict resolution, further undermining confidence in her capacity to lead.
Got canceled because of a lack of a quorum.
That came after a disagreement about where to hold the meeting, as trustees expressed concerns for their.
If you think that Mayor Tiffany Henyard's problems are limited to her personal legal disputes, think again. Her problems are just the beginning of the chaos that has engulfed Dolton's leadership. The difficult relationship between Henyard and the Village Board of Trustees has also caused a toxic environment that has severely damaged the town's governance. Village board meetings are regularly canceled or postponed, or they might turn chaotic, as tensions between the two sides have increased to such a degree. The trustees accuse one another of endangering public safety, breaking procedural rules, and even breaking the Illinois Open Meetings Act, which requires openness and accessibility in public planning. The Illinois Attorney General's intervention brought the situation to a head, concluding that the village had in fact broken the act by neglecting to make adequate accommodations for public attendance. As a result, Dolton officials had to move meetings to a larger location in order to accommodate the increasing number of residents who were eager to see the drama unfold in person. State intervention was a major embarrassment for the administration, highlighting the dysfunction that has come to be associated with Henyard's tenure. Due to a leadership void brought forth by the mayor and trustees' poor communication and collaboration, Important issues remain unresolved while political disputes take center stage. Instead, gatherings that ought to have addressed the town's urgent issues, such as crumbling infrastructure, public safety issues, and financial instability, have turned into forums for acrimonious disputes and public temper tantrums. Residents in attendance at these gatherings have stated anguish and shock as many wonder how such a disjointed leadership can successfully lead Henyard's. Her supporters contend that the trustees are purposefully impeding her attempts to implement significant change, while critics contend that her defiant and power-hungry leadership style has only served to escalate the conflict. The stalemate has blocked the village's ability to move forward on important issues, and the problems are getting worse. Because of the public's suspicion of the local administration, the conflicts with the trustees are just one front in the ongoing struggle to keep her power. Despite growing political and legal obstacles, the heightened tensions have further alienated her supporters and detractors, creating a perception of a leadership in Dolton's citizens that are embroiled in controversy and conflict. And the dysfunction is more than just political theater. It directly prevents the town from meeting its actual requirements, placing it at a crossroads with no clear way ahead.
To be redundant, and we're getting tired of coming here not having the laws followed.
When Henyard tries to take action, frustrated citizens have been turning up in droves at meetings demanding answers and calling for her resignation. One local even went so far as to call her the most notorious mayor in America, which, given the current circumstances, may not be an exaggeration. But how did Henyard go from winning a landslide victory in 2021 to becoming one of the most troubled mayors in the country? It all began with High Hopes. Fans believed she was a fresh face who could revitalize the town and steer it in the right direction, but things quickly fell apart. We will continue to speak out nearly immediately after assuming office, when her spending habits began to pose issues. She promised to use campaign cash to pay for the lavish $115,000 inauguration party, but the bill wound up on the village's tab, and things only got worse over time. In a nearly 90-minute Facebook Live, reports surfaced regarding Henyard's questionable spending habits, including lavish travel and block parties, implying that she was more focused on maintaining a lavish lifestyle than running the village. Meanwhile, Land's financial situation continued to worsen, leaving the locals wondering where all the money was going. Rand Henyard declared that she will sue her political rivals, alleging that they were attempting to undermine her for their own benefit. It's not the first time she's made such audacious threats, but Henyard's response to the growing criticism has been to dig in her heels. Despite the demands of the trustees and the residents for her resignation, she has steadfastly refused to resign and instead focused on her critics, accusing them of plotting a power grab in them. It's starting to seem like these painful accusations are little more than a distraction from her own escalating issues, because Henyard has repeatedly pledged to expose and learn the truth about their intentions. But she has repeatedly failed to back up her claims here a few times to serve them for a household that earns more than $350,000 annually. Tiffany Henyard, the mayor, has stated that she is not prepared to resign or fade. In the background, she confidently declared that she will run for re-election, saying, "Just like Trump, I'm coming in on a landslide this time." This was in spite of the ongoing court fights, rising opposition, and swirling controversies. This bold statement demonstrates Henyard's unwavering faith in her political tenacity despite her administration's unprecedented storm of difficulties. Her confidence appears almost defiant in the face of numerous court decisions against her, ongoing FBI investigations, and a growing number of vocal residents calling for her resignation. But this unwavering resolve is part of what makes her story both captivating and divisive. The tenure of Henyard's has been characterized by power conflicts with the Village Board of Trustees, charges of financial mismanagement, and nepotism in her selections. This was anything but typical. The court's many interventions against her rulings and the FBI's examination of her administration only serves to tell the story of a leader always on the defense. Despite these losses, Henyard has maintained a devoted following of followers who respect her tenacity and capacity to endure severe pressure for her critics, but her unwillingness to accept responsibility for her mistakes has led to annoyance and exhaustion. Both homeowners and trustees have voiced their frustration at what they see as Henyard's disrespect for legal boundaries and established procedures. Meetings have devolved into battlegrounds, with people demonstrating in large numbers to demand accountability and trustees and ACC accusing her of breaking the law. "We're sick of coming here without the laws." Being pursued by a frustrated at a recent village board meeting, a community member made a statement that encapsulated the growing disenchantment among many in the community. Critics contend that Henyard's leadership style has created a chaotic and dysfunctional environment where political and personal conflicts take precedence over governance. But Henyard seems unfazed, portraying herself as a fighter who won't be quiet and drawing comparisons to controversial figures in her own right. Similar to former President Donald Trump, who portrays herself as a leader who feeds on hardship and views criticism as evidence of her effectiveness. Nevertheless, this approach has limitations, particularly given that Dolton is still dealing with actual physical issues that require solutions. The village encounters unstable finances, deteriorating infrastructure, and a community that is expanding. Residents who are eager for change are fed up with the scandals and are calling for attention to the problems that directly affect their everyday lives. And although many may admire Henyard's tenacity, it is overwhelmed by the belief that her administration is more concerned with survival than service given the impending FBI probe and legal difficulties. Although her ability to rally her fans and brush off her detractors may keep her politically afloat for the time being, it doesn't do much to address the issue of whether Henyard can continue to endure the pressure and at what cost. The fundamental problems plaguing Dolton and whether her confidence will result in electoral success are still unknown, but one thing is certain: the Henyard story is far from over. She has become a pivotal figure in a sharply divided community, and her next actions will determine not only her political future, but also the future of Dolton as a whole. The residents of Dolton are fed up with the ongoing drama, scandals, and mismanagement of finances. What's next for Tiffany Henyard? They want a mayor who puts the needs of the community first, not someone who is more concerned with extravagant parties and living extravagantly off of taxpayer dollars. In fact, the sheriff has been out there a few times to serve them for a household that earns more than $350,000 annually, indicating how tense things have gotten. With so many legal issues, it's difficult to say for sure, but one thing is certain: this narrative is far from over. As we come to a close, I have a question for you. Do you think Henyard will survive these scandals? Battles are still going on, and the FBI investigation is still ongoing, so there will undoubtedly be more twists ahead. Will she be able to maintain her position, or will the scandals eventually bring her down? Only time will tell. In the meantime, residents of Dolton are left watching as their village continues to dominate the headlines for all the wrong reasons and secure another term in office. Or is this the start of the end for her political career? Please share your opinions in the comment section below, and don't forget to like for additional updates on this developing story. Subscribe as well.